told my mother-in-law she doesn't get to judge my parenting because she let her grandson die. We were at a restaurant for my husband's birthday when my 2-year-old daughter, Renesmee, started making this horrible gagging sound. Her face was turning red and no air was coming out. I immediately picked her up and flipped her face down over my arm and started doing back blows between her shoulder blades. Hard ones. My mother-in-law, Mary, screamed from across the table. "What are you doing to her?" I didn't answer. I just kept hitting Renesmee's back with the heel of my hand. On the 5th blow, a chunk of steak flew out of her mouth and she started crying. I flipped her over and held her against my chest. She was breathing. She was okay. I was shaking so hard I almost dropped her. Mary stood up and came around the table. "Why were you hitting her like that? You're supposed to do the Heimlich. Back blows are what you do for toddlers. The Heimlich can damage their organs." "That's ridiculous. Everyone knows you do the Heimlich for choking. Not on a child this small." Mary looked at my husband. "Did you see what she just did? She was beating Renesmee's back like she was trying to hurt her. I think she did it on purpose." My husband looked confused. "Mom, it worked. Renesmee's fine. She got lucky. That's not how you save a choking child. I should call CPS." I was still holding Renesmee and trying to calm her down. "Mary, this is exactly what they teach you in infant CPR. Well, your class was wrong. I've been a mother for 35 years and I know you do the Heimlich." A waiter came over to check on us. Mary grabbed his arm hard. "You need to call the police. I just watched this woman assault her child." The waiter looked alarmed. "Ma'am, what happened?" "She was hitting this baby over and over as hard as she could. There's something wrong with her." I cut in. "My daughter was choking. I did back blows to clear her airway." Mary talked over me. "She's lying. The baby wasn't choking. She just started hitting her out of nowhere. I think she has mental health issues." "Mary, you watched her face turn purple." "I saw you hit a child. That's what I saw and I want it documented." Other diners were staring now. Mary pulled out her phone and started filming Renesmee's back. "Look at how red this is. Look at the marks she left." "Put that away." "No. I'm sending this to CPS, my lawyer, and everyone in the family so they know what kind of monster my son married." She was typing furiously. "I'm also posting this to Facebook. Everyone needs to see what you did." The manager came over and Mary grabbed his sleeve. "I need you to call 911 right now. This woman beat her child in your restaurant." The manager looked at me. "What happened here?" "My daughter was choking on food. I did back blows to clear her airway, which is the recommended technique for toddlers." Mary laughed. "Recommended by who?" "She made that up. She's covering for the fact that she lost control and beat her daughter in public." The manager nodded slowly. "Ma'am, back blows are actually what you're supposed to do for small children. The Heimlich can cause internal injuries." Mary slammed her hand on the table. "I don't believe that. I've never heard that in my life. I want to speak to your corporate office." My husband tried to calm her down. "Mom, Renesmee is fine. Can we please just finish dinner?" "No, we cannot just finish dinner. Your wife assaulted your daughter and everyone is acting like it's normal. What is wrong with all of you?" She pointed at me. "She shouldn't have custody of that child. She's clearly unstable. I've thought it for years and now I have proof." I put Renesmee back in the high chair. "I saved her from choking, Mary. You got lucky. If it had been serious, she would be dead right now because you don't know what you're doing. You're an incompetent mother, and I've told my son that since the day he married you." She looked at my husband. "I want you to reconsider this marriage. Think about Renesmee's safety." My husband sighed. "Mom, stop. No, someone needs to protect that little girl from her own mother." I couldn't play nice anymore. "You want to talk about keeping kids safe? Where were you when Mason choked to death in the other room?" The entire restaurant seemed to go quiet. Mary's face went white. "Don't you dare. Your other grandchild choked to death while you were babysitting because you were in the other room watching TV. Mason died because you weren't paying attention, so don't lecture me about keeping children safe." Mary stood up and walked out without saying another word. I never spoke to her again.